Recognized, Emily of Arden, D12. Recognized, Uncle Walker, D01. Recognized, Joe Moniac, D05. Initiate Intel Update.
Hello, team, and welcome to Intel Update number 25. My name is Emily, and I am here with my co-host Rich and producer Neil.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Neil. What's up, producer Neil?
It's been a
Neil.
while.
Have you had your name legally changed to producer Neil yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
It's more paperwork than you
Yeah.
think it is.
It says in the notes, battle in the Thunderdome to decide who gets to say hello first. So I did it, but Neil would absolutely win that fight. He would wreck me, I suspect.
Oh, you guys can't see. I've lost like almost 30 pounds, everybody.
Oh, yeah. No, dude's in shape. Don't mess
Yeah.
with Neil. Just hug the man. He gives the best hugs. We are here to give you an update as to what is going on with Whelmed. We have had, in classic Young Justice fashion, a beautifully random hiatus.
Yeah. What would Young Justice be without an unplanned extended hiatus?
Unplanned hiatus.
With very little explanation.
With no explanations. So, yes, we are all doing well, by the way. But we've had a lot of stuff going on. I think we even talked about that in the last Intel update.
It's almost like when stuff starts happening, it keeps happening to all of us. And
Yes, it does. So, but it is not the end of an era yet. So we do have 10. Is that right? We have 10 of the episodes of the second half of season 4 already recorded.
Mhm.
And we have 3 more to record. And we have been trying to get together, and it has been a wild roller coaster ride. So we have 3 more episodes to record. But having said that, we will be returning. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll check in with, I don't know, producer Neil next week.
Yep.
Cool. And is it going to be, when are we going to be releasing, Neil? What day?
So this has come out on the 22nd. That means 1 week from today. Episode 414 will come out on the 29th. And then a fun little term that to stop the confusion of what bi-weekly might or might not mean. Is it 2 times in 1 week or once every 2 weeks? Apparently, iTunes has had so many complaints that to resolve this issue, the term fortnightly shall be used moving forward.
We are
and so
returning to the days of William Shakespeare. And,
yes, so fortnightly.
it's a good word.
Britain,
with a
I
good
guess.
meaning.
I love it because I found it on iTunes. It wasn't that I had saw it somewhere else.
Oh,
I was
no.
just on an actual
That's
podcast.
funny.
I was like, hold on.
So
What is this?
when my kids were really young, we stumbled upon an old usage of a term that we use all the time in the house now, and it is overmorrow.
The day after tomorrow?
The day after tomorrow
Incredible.
is overmorrow. And my kids have been using overmorrow since they were like 2. And now it's just a
Nice.
thing we use in the house. So fortnightly is one of those things that you only hear in like period pieces or British TV. So I guess YouTube is now adopting it. I love it. So we're going to release fortnightly starting overmorrow. That's what's happening from when we're recording.
Yes.
I love it.
Perfect.
Look how fancy we are, guys. We're so
So
fancy.
very fancy.
So very,
Yes.
so very fancy. So very.
I only move my mouse with my pinky out.
That's right. I just drank my tea. I just drank my coffee. I have my pinky up right now.
But yes, and like you said, though, I have confirmed that we have everything we need for the next 10 episodes, and then we will record the 3 following.
Great. I love it. I also have some ideas for a couple more discussion episodes we'd like to release. And then we were also discussing, we still haven't done targets for comic commentary.
No,
Emily,
we
you were
have
talking
not.
about that. Yeah.
No, we have not. And it's the thing of we haven't decided quite when that's happening or how, but there are spoilers for the end of the season. So it feels like it's got to be after the season.
I'm thinking, yes, that will probably be good.
Considering those solicits for those issues came out before the season had ended and people were like, oh, I guess we know that now.
That was a weird one.
Yep.
Like, oh, dang.
Comics.
All right.
That's why sometimes comics are very secretive, and it's sometimes my favorite thing.
So that's the update as far as Whelmed is concerned. But we also want to let you guys know what we have been doing and where you can find us doing some things around the internets and the physical world as well. Emily, what have you been up to? You've been doing some voice acting stuff, yeah?
I have, yeah. Over this past year, I was in 3 different CalArts short films during thesis season, as it were. So 3 short films. I was in a very small role in a short film called Roadkill. I play somebody's grandma for exactly 2 lines. And
Did you die?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I don't die. It's a weird little introspective story about a kid who sees a dead squirrel on the side of the road, and kind of reckons with mortality and the carelessness of humans. And it's a good little short film. It's, I would say, if you check it out and you're not okay with blood and death imagery of fictional animated animals, maybe skip it. But it's a good little film. Even though I am in only 2 lines of it. The rest
funny.
of it is very good.
My kids have been reading. We have the complete Calvin and Hobbes collection.
Yeah.
And so my kids have been reading through those recently, which has been really funny because like my 11-year-old daughter is like, this is what I feel like when you put my shoes away and I can't find them. And she sends
We
us
quote
like,
that comic all the time in my
who
house.
put them in the closet?
Is it where they're supposed to
where
be?
they're supposed to be. Right.
Is said has been for a very
That's
long time.
funny.
Forever
I'll,
said in my
I'll
family.
send you
It
the
is
text she
incredibly
sent.
quotable.
It was really funny. Anyway, my point is that there is a really good Sunday morning one because Calvin always did lots of wacky stuff, but then Bill Watterson also put in these really poignant moments, and one of them was Calvin and Hobbes finding like a dead bird, and like this whole Sunday comic talking about that kind of stuff. It sounds like they made like a film version of that almost. That sounds interesting.
A little bit. And it's also largely about the idea that the kid is frustrated that none of the adults are taking him seriously when he's just like, why did this happen? And why does nobody caring that this happened? And they're like, it just happens. And he's like, that's not a good enough answer.
Yeah.
Repetition is not justification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's a cool little one to check out. And I'll include links to
so
everything down in the show notes. Because these are all on YouTube and you can just search the titles plus CalArts and you'll find them, but we'll include links too. The other one I was in is called Deborah Out of Water. And it is a goofy little story about a fisherwoman who accidentally befriends a fishman, a man who is a fish. And they strike up an unconventional friendship. And it's about learning to follow your dreams.
Fish dreams.
Great. So
And your human dreams, and you're breaking out of your shell and not settling for the life you have if you want something more and dare to be bold. I play Deborah. I play the woman. I play the fisherwoman, not the fishman. And it's fun and it's silly and it has a very cute, cozy art style that is just like, I want to wander around this little seaside town. It looks so cute.
I also like that Emily, you set it up like in my head, there weren't only 2 characters for the story. So then like hearing the sentence of like, I was Deborah, just in case anyone needed to know. I was like, in my head, there could have been a million characters, but it was just like, okay, just to clear it up, everybody. I'm Deborah, not the fish man.
There are only 2 characters. There is Deborah and Fish Guy.
Okay.
And I play Deborah.
Okay.
And the third and final one that I was in this season is called Seisma, and it is a very stylized sci-fi dystopian kind of story about a group of researchers who are sent into the desert to investigate a strange underground anomaly that may or may not be a giant living creature. And this one it's very cool and it's kind of dark. It's not for kiddos. Like I think Deborah Out of Water, I think your kiddo can probably watch just fine. But Seisma is darker and a bit more violent and quite a bit more swearing. But I play Juno, who is the team's biologist and morally ambiguous leader who has some very, very strong ideas about how this should go and why it should go the way that it will. It's got a really cool soundtrack and it's got a very different art style. It looks very different from a lot of the animation being made in general and kind of is very different from like, I know a lot of people talk about like the Cal Arts style in a kind of dismissive way that I don't think is necessarily fair. People are inspired by the things, and a lot of stuff ends up having a vibe to it because everybody grew up on the same media. But if you're looking for something that looks very different from that kind of style, this is it. It's got very, very bright, saturated colors and very spiky animation, and it is very cool. All three of them are very cool, but all of those are out there, and we'll have links down in the show notes so you can check them out. But if you put in any of those titles plus Cal Arts on YouTube, they will pop up immediately. And yeah, check them out. They're good. They're cool. They're me doing voiceover for three very different characters. Oh, I also forgot. I don't think I've mentioned this on Whelm. I mentioned this on another thing that I'll talk about in a second. But I also last year was in an audio drama, not an animation, but an audio drama that came out called Havana Syndrome. And I don't know if that's one of the ones I've talked about on here yet. That is kind of an international spy thriller about two siblings whose older sister, who used to work for the CIA, goes missing. And they believe something nefarious has happened and decide to investigate in a globe-trotting mission to try to figure out what happened to her and where she has gone. In that, I play the main character's mom. I play their British immigrated to the U.S. mom. And that was also very fun. It's a very interesting one to go check out. I think the season was only about 12 episodes, so very easy to get into and listen to all of that. And it's a cool little spy adventure full of a lot of mysterious characters and what they're up to everywhere in the world. And I play the mom.
I'm noticing you're getting a lot of mom and grandma
Ooh,
role.
yeah. That's been a thing since I was 14 years old, and
Really?
we don't need to unpack it.
Okay.
The short answer is when you are the one girl with a low voice in your high school drama program, you get typecast as old women
I
for
already knew the answer.
years.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did you want to mention this next thing, or do you want me to mention the next thing?
Oh, yeah.
Transition over?
So also this past year, some people saw it, but Rich and I also played in a streamed game of Kids on Bikes for fundraising for your homeschool stuff that you do, Rich, that I'm sure you will talk about and explain. But sadly, it was a great game, and it is sadly now lost to the ether of the internet because Twitch recordings are confusing.
Twitch. It's a thing, you know. And Aram told me it was going to be a thing too. He's like, no, it's like a I don't know, like a hazing ritual that everybody's first Twitch stream just disappears. And he's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm pushing all the buttons. He's like, okay, I push this button, but then it's like you push this button, and then like another button comes up and says like, yeah, we'll hang on to this for like 7 days or 15 days or whatever, but you got to push a second or third or fourth button to tell us you actually want to keep it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so I didn't get to uploading it until like 2 weeks later because I was slammed, and I went back and it was gone. So that game was run by Jay Africa. He is amazing. And Jay is one of the featured game masters that Neil and I met doing the D20 cruise. And Jay is amazing. And that game was super fun. I'm sad that got lost to the interwebs. The other game that I played that same night, it was a double feature, was Jeff Barber's Blue Planet. And we had like Eric Campbell on with us. And it was so good. But unfortunately, that one also got lost. So that's unfortunate on both fronts. So
the answer is we simply must play Kids on Bikes on the internet again someday. I must play my girl again.
Yeah, Jay running was great. So yeah, those were great. And what we were doing was a fundraiser for my wife and I. We homeschool our kids, but since we had our big move and we now live in East Texas, we live in a small community there, closer to where some of my family is living now. But we not only homeschool our kids, but we run classes for local kids in the community, including after-school programs for D&D. I do them both online and in person. My online D&D games, they're for kids and also adults. I've been doing some really fun, nostalgic, like special occasion birthday games and stuff for adults as well. It's at www.theundiscoveredlands.com. It's kind of a long URL, but the one that's a little bit easier to remember that will take you to the same place is www.kidsplaydnd, not the ampersand, the letter N. www.kidsplaydnd.com. And so I am now set up with the studio and stuff here at my new place, which I'm really excited about. So I do online games. I do weekly online campaigns set in Under the Seas of Adari, which is an incredible underwater 5th edition D&D campaign setting that's done by tribality.com. Sean Ellsworth and them over there have created just the setting of note for underwater full campaigns underwater. It is brilliant. I love running in that setting. So if you have some kids that are interested in some after school program games, we have 4 different DMs on kidsplaydnd.com. They're all amazing. We all do our own kind of unique things. One of our game masters uses Legos as part of the miniatures that he uses in his studio to play the games. We don't use Roll20 or other digital things generally. We do like full camera studio miniatures, printed, painted maps, stuff that's actually got that kind of physical feel to it, even though it's a digital online game. And then I also do after-school program games for kids here running Masks, Descent into Midnight, D&D. We played Avatar. We played a bunch of different stuff. In addition to that, my wife is a teacher, so we do math classes here. This last semester, she and her best friend did a geometry and math class that was entirely inspired by and focused on making quilts. So
Nice.
The geometry was done with like actually working with the textiles, cutting it out, making designs, figuring out the sizes, doing all the ratios. It was incredible. And so the kids not only get the practical aspect of math, but they get like hands-on practical experience with things like sewing machines and other stuff. That's how we teach here. In addition to that, we do other things. We have something we call Wonder Club, which is about seeing the beauty in nature that's around us and about science and other things. We have a Discord channel. You can see some pictures from our classes up there. And then we do these fundraisers. We did some over the winter, and then I plan on doing some more in the fall and winter this year as well. And what we do is we do a RPG double feature. So we'll do a 2-hour game of something that one of our many friends in the RPG industry loves to run. We'll do a 2-hour game of that. We'll have a short break, and then we'll do a 2-hour game of something else. And then we'll do that maybe once a month for a couple of months. If you're interested in that, we can put a link into the Discord channel for Weaver Wild. And with Whelmed, we'll probably make announcements when we're doing those fundraisers as well. And then if you're interested in doing donations for us, you can donate to us on Venmo at Weaver Wild HSE. Weaver, like weaving, Weaver Wild HSE. You're welcome to, if you're interested in shooting us some donations so that we have a lot of low income kids that are in the area. We donate a lot of our time, and just if we have space in a class, we just have kids come in because we want the class to be full and we want kids to be able to be there. Also, we need to pay our bills as well. So we'd really appreciate it if you're interested to shoot us a few bucks. We can help give a scholarship to a kid. So that kind of transition. Did you have anything else, Emily? It kind of transitioned from you to me in that.
No, maybe, but yeah.
Okay.
Other people share things.
Nice.
I've been talking too long.
So Neil and I think we've been talking about that. Neil for the last 3 years, me for the last 2 years, have done the D20 cruise, which is put on by events.cruise or event.cruises.
Events.cruises.
Events.cruises is the website. It has been, man, this year was phenomenal. I had such a good time this year. Neil, your guys' game was also epic again. It was incredible. In the D20 cruise, you come on, you pay for the cruise, and then there's basically a gaming convention. So there's a couple hundred people that are on there. I'm laughing because so at one point I was down, they put us in the basement, of course, down where the game room is, down in the basement, the little convention center. So I was delivering a handful of tentacles. Hey, D&D, a handful of tentacles to one of the games. I think it might have been even Neil or Tim's. I don't know. It was a handful of tentacles I was delivering that were miniatures. And I'm in the elevator and there's this couple behind me, and I'm just holding these things, and the woman behind me goes, "Is that D&D miniatures?" to her like husband, and the guy's like, "I think it is." And then this like 70-year-old woman on the other side of me goes, "There's so much D&D going on right now on this cruise. There's just so much D&D going on." It just made me laugh so hard. So there's about 2,000 or 2,500 guests that are on the cruise total, but we take up about 10% of it with about, I think there's like 250, including the DMs. And you get a personalized game master who will run a game for you, 3-hour game a day for 3 days of the cruise in your own little mini campaign. Everybody does incredible, amazing stuff. Blastin' Astra was there with her incredible cosplay, and then did a level 20 Spelljammer epic universe shattering nonsense with clowns that were lawyers, and it was wild. Or of course I'm doing my Under the Seas of Adari. Neil and our friend GM Tim do these. They have all of their groups kind of in the same adventure at the same time, running parallel and affecting each other. It's just, everybody comes up with such amazing stuff. Jay Africa, who I mentioned, is there with the emotion and the role playing that he pulls up in his games. I heard the aftermath of some of his stuff was just amazing. So if you're interested at all, you have the time and or the money, and you're interested, the D20 cruise, I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, and they're expanding a bunch. So one of the other things is that if maybe even D20 cruise, or you know what, maybe D20 cruise isn't for you or isn't enough for you, I guess is a better way to try and put those two together. They're also starting an enchanted cruise, so a fantasy ball at sea for 2027. They also have GakuCon, which is more geared towards like cosplay and anime, and that was actually going before the D&D stuff. That was kind of their first venture into cruising, and you can sign up for both 26 and 27, as well as the Battle Barge, which is basically Warhammer 40,000 focused. And they have some of the people from Play on Tabletop, which is a really big YouTube channel. They're connected there, and you can sign up for 26 and 27 of those, as well as being able to sign up for 26 and 27 for the D20 cruise. So,
and Neil and I have been to a lot of conventions, and I tell you, like, if the people who run this convention are just phenomenal. They're just phenomenal. Like, people I kind of think about as like Michael Ross from the RPG Academy podcast and the Catacon that they run. It's that energy, if you've ever been there, where like Michael just loves the people, loves the event. He's not doing it to make a ton of money. He's doing it because he wants to see everybody have a good time. And the people who run this D20 cruise, they... I don't know. They just never stop working with a giant smile on their face. It is incredible to be in that space with them. So I want them to have all the success. They're amazing.
Yeah, it's funny enough. If you go to try and reserve a spot for 2026, it is apparently me on the top of that page.
It is. It's you and Tim,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I look very animated and having a great time running Dungeons and Dragons. So.
Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, my kids. My kids are now 10 and 12, and we'd already watched the first couple seasons of Young Justice a few years ago. But as any parent knows, every couple of years, your kids trim out a bunch of neural pathways, and everything goes offline for a while and then rebuilds itself. So they remember bits and pieces, but now we're watching it with them being 10 and 12, and there's a whole different level of connection with the characters, the story. They have more life experiences that they can relate to. So we binged like 8 episodes last night. I think we're 3 episodes into season 2. And man, they're just loving it. So one of the things I would like to do is when we get finished with all of it, I'm going to have my kids on and we're going to chat about that too. I'll probably love to have like maybe Emily on as well, because Rowan's making comments about stuff, and I'm like, Emily will relate to that. we just did the 5-year time skip into season 2, and Rowan's like, she's like, I don't know about this 5-year time skip. I said, you know what? There's somebody you should talk to.
Oh, it's a devastating experience at 14 years old to tune in one Saturday after finishing season 1, and now it's 5 years later and everything is different.
One of the interesting things is that twist. It's interesting to feel that twist survive into the binge era, because this is the first time I've ever thought of this, because of the way everything shook out the first time around, because it was 1 week to the next, that twist survives into this time, that a person watching it for the first time still has to be forced to feel it the way we felt it back then, because it's just into the next episode. I mean, granted, it's just one episode to the next, but that same vibe is still there, very much so, because it wasn't a whole off season. It wasn't months later. It was literally
there
1
was
week
no
to
there
the
was
next.
no even illusion of time passing.
And so I mean, and now
and
you're like,
there was
no
warning.
you're like,
I
I'd
know
love to see
why,
season
but-
2, episode 1, and you're just like, hey, look at that Robin. That's not the right Robin. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's the same date.
Devastating.
Well, speaking of my daughter and my son, 2 things I'm really, really proud of them about. My daughter just finished, at the age of 11, finished a first draft of a 30,000 word novel, which I'm like, yeah, as one does when you're 11. I'm super proud of her with that. I'm like, I messaged my friend, my childhood friend, Steve McGann, and he said, I don't even think I read a novel till I was 14, much less write one at 11. So I'm helping her edit that, and it's pretty breathtaking. It's pretty amazing, and I'm really proud of her finishing that.
Rich, are you trying to tell me that it's not a universal experience to try to write an entire novel when you're a child? Is that not what everyone does?
Yes, Emily, I understand. I know you. I see you. I know you and Rowan are peas in a pod on many things.
It's probably somewhere in my closet, and will never see the light of day. Because mine wasn't as good as Rowan's probably is.
Rowan's is pretty great. And then I'm also really proud of my son, Grayson, too. He's 10 and just started doing online programming classes. He's been doing some programming through Godot 4, and it's been pretty great. So I'm really proud of both of them for all the stuff that they've been doing, not just around the house, but also spending time with us, like now when we're recording, and meetings I've been having for Descent into Midnight, which actually rolls into an update for that as well. So I just had a meeting with our production team, Descent into Midnight. Finally, the PDF is just the only thing we need to do left for the PDF to be released in Descent into Midnight is some of the publication data, the official publication data that we need to do so that we can get it into libraries and things.
Got to buy yourself an ISBN.
Yes, we actually have all that already. So we've got all that stuff ready to go so that the book can actually go into libraries.
Can you tell what my job is?
Yes,
Sorry,
exactly.
I'm like, you got to do the next steps. We need
Yep.
all your publication information.
Yep. So we're gonna do.
Emily forced me into flashbacks. I didn't like that at all. What just happened? I didn't like it. Ugh. Go on. Move on.
Move on.
Hurry.
Before the end of this year, our PDF will be going out to backers. And then at that stage, what we need to do is we need to just talk to the publishing on demand people, make sure that we have adjustments to the PDF so that it prints on demand appropriately for those who buy copies from now on. And then also the publisher that we had spoken to is a U.S. publisher. And we have been talking to a couple of different people, things like the tariffs and all that kind of stuff, not going to be affecting us. Apparently, it's not going to be a thing. The publisher we originally were going to be using is in California. So we're getting back in contact with them. And so then our books will get out. But the PDFs will be out soon. We're now just doing layout on the playbooks, final layout on the playbooks. And we will finally, after so many years of delays and personal challenges, we are finally getting Descent into Midnight out, and you will be hearing me on podcasts playing it. You'll be hearing me talking about it at the D20 cruises and other places as well. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is completely has nothing to do with anything. If you have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix,
it's so good.
You have got to see that show.
So the three of us just never talked about it together, and we just all love it separately. Is that
really what's happening right now? Because I was like, I don't even know if you guys have seen it.
Did you two talk to each other?
No,
I didn't talk to you guys about it because I love this is the greatest film of all time, right?
No,
it's so good.
So did you? Is that what's happening right now? Because that's what's happening right now, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what's happening, right? So a friend of ours had said that she was like, can we watch it with all the kids? Because the kids were all going to be over. So we had all of our friends over to their house, and the mom, who's one of our best friends, Robin, had said like, hey, do you mind if we watch K-pop Demon Hunters? And I'm like, sure. Like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like something I'd be that interested in. I got to go home and do some stuff. So I'll watch the beginning of it with you guys, and then I'll probably take off. And I'm like,
he didn't go home.
I couldn't go home. Like I got into the point, I got into about 25 minutes into it. And I'm like, I've got to leave. And so I went home and then just watched it on my phone before bed and was like texting with everybody at the other house that show, as Rowan says, I don't know. It's one of those shows where you're like, wow, that shouldn't have been that good. We've been playing the soundtrack. I've never been into K-pop, and I am like singing Soda Pop. It's like in my head. I can't stop. It's now a painful thing. But like Golden is great. That song is great. The song at the end, What It Sounds Like, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
That is incredible. The whole thing is so good.
Yeah, how it's done has become part of my morning routine almost every day because it just gets you hype to do things.
The point at which I knew the movie was what it was is the point at which they were willing to spend as much time in the movie and as much budget as they were for the cat to try and put that little pop.
I love him.
That's one of Rowan's
I love
favorite
the
things.
tiger
Because, like,
so much.
No,
He's
and so
the
like
best.
all of those emotions you feel, that is the financial and production choices that are involved with making that happen. Those don't normally happen. Like those things get cut. Those choices don't normally get made. You say like, what are we going to do? We're going to spend that much time, that much budget on this cat trying to pick this pot up. And the answer is yes.
Because
Yes,
it's
we
perfect.
Yeah. And so like that was the point at which I was like, no, this is it. And how exasperated the bird is. He's like, why does the bird have a hat? Well, the bird doesn't have a hat. I keep making it for the cat, and the bird steals it.
Yeah. No more spoilers though. If you haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters, it is a surprisingly it's a joy. Great story. Animation is
Should
amazing.
have been in theaters. That is the truth of it.
My no spoilers comment that I think is incredible and is very niche to my interests, but that I think is incredible about this movie is there is the joke to be made often about movies that action sequences in action movies and musical numbers in musicals should do the same thing, which is advance the plot and character while being a spectacle. And this movie does them at the same time.
All the fight scenes with the songs and the choreography
so
and the character development while the fight's going on. It is chef's kiss gold, people. You need to go and watch this if you have any opportunity to do it. I think it's really funny that I was like, I got to at least say something about it. And you two also feel the same way. So good.
You walk away with the same feeling that we all, and obviously the three of us have a little bit of a different perspective of the behind the scenes of Young Justice, meeting and talking to some of the people that made it, and listeners know it because we've brought them on here. But one of the things that makes Young Justice what it is because everyone cares. And that's not true of every production, for whatever reasons there may or may not be for that. But one of the things that I think carries Young Justice as far as it has been carried and continues to be carried is that it just feels like everyone genuinely cared. And I feel the same way about K-pop Demon Hunters. It's like, if you're going to make a fight scene look that good, someone has to really
care. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're going to make the like dance choreography look that good, someone has to really care.
Yeah.
And so that start to finish, someone really cared.
And the songs, the lyrics, how they punch, how they hit, like you have to know the characters, know the story. You have to really be involved in a beautiful way. And it's very, very echoey of Young Justice, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And the production backstory behind the music is fascinating. I don't know if either of you know this, and this will just be a quick aside for it, but the woman who is the singing voice for Rumi also contributed to writing a bunch of the songs, and she is actually someone who tried to be a K-pop idol and was basically put on retainer by her label that she was a part of in the way that the K-pop industry often works. And they never wanted to launch her as a star. It wasn't the right time. They thought she was too old, whatever it might have been. And so she became a producer basically and was like, I'm not going to wait around for you to tell me when I'm allowed to be a star. I will do this differently.
Nice.
And started being a producer and a writer and did the demos for Rumi's songs. And they were like, no, you're just the singing voice for this character now. You are correct as this character.
Yeah.
And it has launched her singing career in that way that is so beautiful. And I may be missing some of the details on that because I have just seen this going around, but I think it is a fascinating bit of why this movie is so good, that it is made by people who care and in ways that are very interesting in that industry and the world that this movie is about.
Amazing.
Plus demons.
Yeah, it was really good.
Similarly,
Really good.
speaking of really good movies, this made me think of it. Everything we're saying about it connects to this too. I don't know if either of you have seen the new Superman movie yet, but you
Not
should, because I
Okay.
saw it on Friday and I cried, and it's really good.
I've been holding off going online. I've been holding off for reviews. I want to go see it. I just haven't had time to do it yet. I was actually going to ask you guys off mic whether or not, if you've seen it, if it's something I should go see. Because I've been cautiously optimistic. I've not been a big fan of the vast majority of the live action DC stuff for years. Everybody knows this. Crypto's in it. I've loved what I've seen of the trailer. It's like, same thing with Fantastic Four. I've not liked any of the movies. I see the trailers and I'm like, they're hitting all the notes I want. Like for Fantastic Four, they're a family of explorers and scientists who happen to have powers. And Superman, I'm like, they look like they're drawing off my Superman from the 70s and 80s, my childhood Superman before in the early 2000s, DC got to be this thing that I don't recognize. So for the comics. So
my spoiler-free review and recommendation for this movie, for the new Superman movie, having just seen it a couple of days ago, and with the caveat that, like, I was never really a Superman kid. That was never my favorite part of DC, and that may be just because of what the media was coming out when I was growing up. This is a movie that understands that the fundamental thing about Superman is that he is deeply, deeply kind.
yes.
And that is the point of the film. It is a film that tells us that Superman cares about everyone and loves everything about this planet, and is not here to talk about legality or whether or not things are the right way to do them. He is here to do good and to care about people.
Then that's the movie I've been wanting the whole time.
And it is in a large, and that is Superman as a character, and the movie as a thing is great because it understands that superheroes can and are and should be a little bit goofy, and that's not a bad thing. Superheroes should be sincere and inspirational and care about the cities they live in. This is a movie that remembers that big buildings are full of people.
Thank you. Sorry.
And that was a thing of being like, having that moment in the theater where I was fundamentally like, oh, a lot of superhero movies forget that recently, and I really appreciate that this one hasn't.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
got a very cute dog and a very fun Lois Lane and a great cast, and it's very cool.
You know what? The chemistry between Lois Lane and Clark in the trailers, I really liked. I'm like, okay, I'm cautiously optimistic. The fact that Crypto's in it, it's just great. If they handle him well, I would love it. I'm Nathan Fillion with a bowl cut, Guy Gardner. Like, I'm like, I don't know. That's either going to work or it's either going to work or it's going to be awful or it's going to be both and it's going to be great.
Yes.
So I've seen it, and I will do spoiler free. So in this day and age, there are two things that hold true. If you would like to not like it, it's there. There are enough things there, and I have my own critiques of certain aspects of the film.
Sure.
And for the same reason, there is more than enough there to absolutely love the film. Also, my dog is very frustrated at this time about my feelings about Superman. But so I'm going to need to apparently figure this out because Odin, I have a Cane Corso now, and he's very, very frustrated about what's happening. So, okay, hold on.
He wants to talk about Crypto.
Yeah. I'm going to go figure this out real quick. He's just in a crate, and he just woke up, so I don't know why he's so mad. BRB.
Okay, cool.
Movie led to a 500% increase in people searching dog adoptions near me.
Aww.
DC Studios, for 2 weeks leading up to the film, partnered with a bunch of animal shelters to waive adoption fees for people adopting dogs. Because that's a fundamental bit of this movie. Crypto's not just here for fun. Like, Crypto and caring about Crypto and the fact that animals deserve love is fundamentally a part of this plot somehow.
Okay, well, it
Um,
sounds like they're making a movie for me then. I do hear, Neil, like, even with Marvel movies, I'm like, oh, yeah, you can pick this bit apart. And if you don't want to like it for X, Y, or Z, there's definitely material for that. But, we are looking for deeper stuff. Like, we're looking for what works. We're looking for am I on the emotional roller coaster ride with you? And for DC Comics, like, when people ask about, I've literally in the last couple of years, because I'm in a whole new town I haven't been in, and people come to our house, and up until recently, I had a whole wall in our little fireplace room that was all Young Justice, DC Comics, Marvel, ElfQuest, like stuff all up on the walls, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? I never got into DC. What should I do? What should I watch? What movie should I watch?" And I'm like, "You shouldn't. You should watch Young Justice." Because it's about the entire DC universe and the writers really, really care. And there's some animated movies, right? I want my DC Comics characters to be heroes. I want that Superman. I want Pa Kent to be the Pa Kent that Pa Kent is supposed to be. Like, I want, yeah. And even from the one scene in the commercial with him, I'm like, oh, there it is. Yep. Thank you. Please give me Pa Kent. Like was either Jeff Stormer or I can't remember who it was in one of our discussion sessions had said it's Pa Kent that puts the man in Superman and Jor-El that puts the super in Superman. I can't remember if it was Jeff or if it was another guest. I apologize. And that's a big important thing for me. And so I do want to see that. So I will try and see it this week so I don't get spoilers for anything.
I was going to say, the other random thing I like about this movie that I think is fun, and I'm sure frustrates some people, but I enjoyed, is this movie throws a lot of larger DC Comics things at you and just kind of says, just go with it in a way that I enjoy in my movies sometimes. It's like, I deeply love Mad Max Fury Road, and sometimes people, when talking about that, are like, this movie sure does just say things and expect you to just go with that world building. I'm like, yeah, because the people living in that world don't find it odd that that's how it works.
They don't have to explain a thing they've done their whole life.
So,
you know what I mean?
there are things in this movie where they reference stuff and don't have anybody explain what that is. Like, Guy Gardner is in this movie, and you will have no explanation as to what the Green Lanterns are or how they work, because that's not what this movie is about. And
There's
Superman's
no
already had that
about
conversation.
Hawk Girl.
No,
We do not know about. You do not know whether or not she is or is not an alien. You do not know nothing about that mace she's swinging around.
But
she
you know
is
what?
just Hawk Girl.
But so
she's just here.
Here's the thing, like I'm okay with that. Also knowing that, like, if James Gunn running the show, if this is his first thing for like a new foundation for DC live action stuff, if this is his first thing, and I go and see this movie and I'm like, I see the through line of what you want to do with your DC movies, then there's a Green Lantern series coming up and he's going to be in there. Like, give other venues to explain the richer backstory of these other characters. Dude, give me a Hawks TV show. I would love that. Some sci-fi action thing with, it's not Shara, right? It's, I can't remember her name.
Heck, I don't know.
Kendra. So I don't know. I think, so
that's the thing is, I don't know. Is it an alien? Is the whole reincarnation? I don't,
if you,
Hawk Girl.
We can get into a whole,
that's what it is.
This is a Hawk
It
girl.
is Hawk Girl.
She is a girl with who is sometimes a hawk. And
She
that's
does
the
Hawk
only
Girl
answer we
things.
get. Like, they don't even say that.
that's
and
okay.
it's a movie
All
that
right.
I saw someone describe as, this is a movie that remembers Superman as a firefighter. And I think that is the best explanation of it. Superman is just here to save people.
So that's the thing that with Captain America, when Cap came out, I was like, this is going to be a train wreck because no one is going to care about this character the way that you should care about Steve Rogers. And the first Captain America movie was Steve Rogers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is what Superman has supposed to have been forever. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. Like, you're saying, like, oh, we got to modernize Superman and we got to do this and we got to do that. And nobody, these values are so old fashioned, blah, 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 blah. And then Cap shows up and you find out everybody kind of needs a little bit of old fashioned values on a couple of things. You know what I mean? And caring about people is a thing, and that's what I want to see in my Superman movie. So if he's pulling that off with Clark and Superman in this movie, I'm going to go from being cautiously optimistic to being painfully optimistic that I hope it doesn't become a train wreck. And then maybe they'll pull off the DC universe the way I've been wanting to have in the live action films, like the Marvel success. So.
Also deeply love. Sorry, I've been in Superman mode all weekend because I saw this on Friday and then it took over my brain the same way that K-pop Demon Hunters took over my brain for a week.
Nice.
I have seen many interviews with David Cornsweet, who plays Superman, and I deeply love the way that this man can talk about Superman and his understanding.
Yes, that is his last name.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I knew what
Neil
was
saw
happening.
me laughing. I'm like, I'm sorry. Can you please repeat that last name?
Yes, I've gotten used to it. And he, I saw him on I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, where he was talking about the Superman costume design and how they, for this movie, have not tried to make it the sleek, modernized
trunks.
Superman thing. He's wearing the strongman trunks. And part of that is just because that's what Superman should look like. And it does actually look weird to your brain when he doesn't look like that. It looks too dark and and hearing him talk about this, one of the things he said was that he feels like in this universe, the reason Superman does that, because they all knew that was what they wanted for it. They just couldn't come up with a in-universe reason for it other than that's what it should look like. And his answer for why was that his Superman doesn't want to be taken too seriously. He wants kids to see him and feel safe. Because the way he described it, he's without that, the Superman uniform starts looking very militaristic and very not friendly. And if you add in something that might make somebody laugh at you, a kid isn't going to be afraid to ask you for directions when they're lost in Metropolis. And that's all Superman wants.
I love the words coming out of your mouth right now.
It's great. It's really good. And I know there are flaws in this film. There's flaws in every film. And people can talk about those all they want on the internet and argue about who's the best Superman and whatever. But this film made me cry because it was kind. Not because I was sad. I was just moved.
Yeah.
And I walked out of that theater happy.
Well,
and sometimes
that's
all I want out of a movie, and it did that really, really well.
So yeah, to round out my spoiler free, one of the two things is one if you have real big hangups with the way James Gunn approaches things, you're gonna have big hangups.
Yeah,
James Gunn is all over this film. That's the long and the short of it.
I've said this online. I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one. I didn't like the first one very much. And so I've had the James Gunn running the show has been an issue for me. But what I've seen since then, it's oh wait, maybe I get to put my preconceptions aside for a minute, But
one of the other things is, and I think Emily, you've danced around one of the things for me that is the biggest benefit. No matter how much I do and don't like any of this, one of the most important things for me is that it doesn't take itself so damn seriously. Because that was the biggest. And one of the problems with that is that if you do that, your constraints get real structured. Because you have to follow all your rules. Once you get so serious and everything has to be so realistic, the rules about what you get to do become thin. They're oh, well, that doesn't fit this narrative that we've created because we're going for this gritty realism. And it's yeah, okay, so then how does a Green Lantern fit in this gritty, realistic, dark world that we've made? No, we don't have to ask. We don't even have to talk about it. He just is here. What we should talk about is, why is that haircut happening? Fun fact, James Gunn is because that's my friend and I wanted to make him look dumb. That is the reason he has that haircut. James Gunn said it in an interview. He just wanted to make Nathan Fillion look stupid. And that's why Guy Gardner. And it's Guy Gardner, so it's
Guy Gardner. It all makes sense.
But so if you continue to hold that comic book logic is the logic by which you're foundationally working off of, you get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just comic book logic and you get to wave wands around sometimes and just be But if you get too in the muck and the mire of no, it needs to be gritty and it needs to be real and it needs to be dark and everything's sepia toned or or just it needs to be so down to earth, and then it's hard. It's very difficult to stay in that when building a whole universe. If it's a single movie, it's easy. You can do that all day. Or if it's a trilogy like the Matt Reeves Batman, that I enjoyed it because it's finite. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and then it's gonna move on. That's the same reason why they're going to get away with all the stuff in the Fantastic Four. It's because they're not in the timeline.
Right.
They just get to go do their fun little thing. So they get to take shots that they normally wouldn't take.
Yeah, the fact that they're doing that 60s retro feel, I'm like, yes, I love all of whatever this is. I just love for this one-shot movie, and then if they can make it work, that's great. And they got Herbie, which I always had mixed feelings about Herbie, but I do love that they put Herbie in, and he seems to be a delight. So
this is why all my favorite Marvel stuff recently has been the weird side projects. I'm like, I love WandaVision and Agatha
great.
all along, and every time that we keep trying to like mesh this back into the main storyline, things go off the rails. I live in my little witch corner.
But see, that's the thing that I think DC can do is that Marvel, all the stuff like, come on, Werewolf by Night, that exists in the same universe as Daredevil, that exists in the same universe as, Thanos. You know what I mean? It all is in the same world. And yes, they're having a hard time making everything fit. But the fact that they're making everything fit anywhere near the way those puzzle pieces need to fit to me is freaking genius. So I look at it from that perspective. But I really like the new Cap movie. And they're trying to incorporate the Eternals thing in there, and the Eternals I didn't really care for that much, but I'm like, okay, now you got this giant in the ocean. Anybody mentioning this? What's going on with that? And then they brought it up in the Cap movie, the new Captain America movie, and I was like, oh, and this is where this is coming from, and this is how you're tying this character in, and so they're having spy thrillers right next to witchy stuff. Right. And right next to WandaVision nonsense, right? Which is just brilliant. I love WandaVision. Right. And you're getting to have that all in one universe. And DC can do the same thing. You can have Justice League Dark in the same universe as you have a Superman Who Cares. You don't have to. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox. I'm going to get off my soapbox.
No, you're all good. I agree. I think this movie is very good and very fun.
Well, I'm going to go see it sooner than later. And the other question I had was with the Shazam movie, I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then they had that one scene in the boardroom, which was just like a murder massacre. And I was like, oh, well, I guess maybe I can't watch this with my kids. I'm going to have to skip past that scene. But now I'm thinking about the Superman movie. I'm like, this looks great. But I'm with all the DC stuff, I'm like, I'm going to have to watch it first to see if I got to skip past something, or they're going to throw in some random, thing that makes no sense to me. That's going to be not something I want my kids to watch in the middle of a fun movie.
So this is my take, and just my take.
Okay.
This film is rated PG-13. It's not intended as a kid's film. I think most of that PG-13 is actually language. I think.
Oh, okay. Well, language I'm not as concerned about.
Yeah. That's the thing where I'm like, I think that is and it doesn't even push its language as far as it can with a PG-13 rating. There is violence. James Gunn made the decision that Superman can bleed in this universe, that he is not perfectly invulnerable. He needs time to heal. He can get beat down and broken. This movie opens with him very, very
the trailer shows that healed. Too, which I'm totally up for. Yeah,
that scene of him in the snow is the first scene of the movie, where he has been devastated. So there is a lot of fighting in this movie, but there is not a lot of gore in this movie.
That's what
violence.
That's what I'm worried. That's the thing that's going to catch me off guard. It's like you know what? And to pull it back to Young Justice a little bit. Going into, because I haven't shown season 3 and 4 to my kids yet, because it went to HBO and Max, and then I'm like, I don't know if they need a whole scan of Cyborg's body and his heart beating by itself, right? Ooh. And so that's a tough. I'm gonna be like, okay, guys, this is what's going on. But I'm doing the same thing with Strange New Worlds. They love Strange New Worlds, but man, if you've seen the Gorn stuff in Strange New Worlds, it is literally just the Aliens and Predator movies bound together in one episode,
true.
And I told my kids, I'm like, we're going to watch this. It's kind of creepy. If either one of you has any moment in which you are saying, that's a little bit much for me. We stop, we pause, we talk about it, we move on. And they were okay. They're now at the age where they're like, nope, I get this is a TV show and what's going on and everything is okay. So they ended up going through it. They haven't had nightmares or any issues. But this is something we are actively talking about all the time with the stuff that we're watching. And so it sucks, honestly, to be a DC fan and say, I'm going to have to screen this Superman movie to make sure he doesn't blow somebody's head off at some point.
He does not.
Okay, great.
What I'll say is I do think that this movie, so there is violence in this movie. I think the thing that makes, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. This movie feels like it believes life has meaning. That's a weird way of saying it. This movie does not take the violence
for granted.
lightly.
Yeah, okay.
It is not
That's
violence for the sake of violence. This movie goes out of its way to show you Superman trying to make sure there are no civilian casualties.
Great.
Superman doesn't want people dying, and if anything has to die, he doesn't want it done violently.
Okay, I don't know why this seems like a crazy thing to ask of your Superman. I don't feel I've been asking this for Superman for a while. I don't know why this is like a crazy soapbox to stand on, but I love that. Also, like as a little aside, Mr. Terrific. I don't know. I love Mr. Terrific.
Oh, yeah.
He's fun.
He's literally like he's one of my like BC string favorite characters, and seeing him with the T-spheres and stuff, like getting to be in the movie, I am really excited to see him.
Oh, yes, you are.
He has an epic action sequence.
Oh, yes.
He's so good.
Give me Mr. Terrific.
It's so good.
Yeah, you know me. I love a character who, so he's an acrobat. He's an Olympic level athlete, but he's brilliant, right? He thinks in combat. I want to see the thinking. I want to see the tactics. I want to see his creations. Like I want to see a thinking superhero, and Mr. Terrific, freaking the Black Panther movie. Like I want these characters that I look at and I'm like, yes, like give me these characters who have a depth to the fight scene. Popping it back to K-pop Demon Hunters, not to say that this is going to be as good as that, but like this thing you're talking about, I want my fight scenes to move the plot forward, build character, right? Give information. I want the fight scene to do everything that I expect any dialogue scene to do, any musical scene to do. I would love to see, and you can do that if you have a character who's concerned about the environment, concerned about where you're fighting. Like that one scene, there's one scene where Superman in the trailer goes, "Hey, up here." And he's like pointing at his eyes, and he takes off. And I'm like, literally what I was begging for in the other movie. Like, why are you fighting in the middle of this downtown? Why are you doing this? Take him to the desert. I don't understand what's going on right now, you know?
And I'll say, having seen that in the trailer, I did not realize that was what he is doing in the trailer. And that's exactly what he's doing in the movie. And it is very clear that is why he is doing it in the movie.
Oh, I saw that, and I'm like, oh, and this is like, yes. Thank you.
As I said, it's the weird thing of the way that I tell people this movie is good in the genre of superhero movies by saying this is a movie that remembers big buildings have people in them.
Great.
And
I think we're cycling a little, but it sounds
I know.
really good.
I'm just going back to like, all right, I mean that.
But anyway, let's get to Neil. Neil, you had a couple things too you were talking about. I know we double talked on the cruise and stuff.
I did the cruise. Oh, I don't know.
You wanted to talk about Greg has been releasing some.
Yeah, so if you haven't been watching over time, Greg has been putting out a list of characters in order of impact to the story of Young Justice. As memory serves, it is been a living document as the story, like basically as Young Justice has gone along, and like, which is interesting. I mean, maybe we could try and long-term pick his brain of like seeing roster moves like over time of like oh no, it was like what a fun thing that could have been to see like over time of like, oh no, someone moved down 3 spots like as they're writing episodes and things like that. Or is it like a retrospective, like after a season is done, is that when he goes back? I was trying to remember over time, but basically we're down to the final 2 and as this comes out those will have been stated, so we're down to 2 left.
So what are the top 10? Sorry, if you have
so far.
Okay.
Because I was following this at one point and then kind of fell off. So I'm just like, there's too many. For people who haven't seen this list, I think it's over 600 characters that he has gone through over the past like 2 years.
So it's every
it's every character, and you don't realize how many there are in Young Justice until
yeah.
Okay.
Every character in Young Justice. So top 10, which is super funny because I have it immediately at my fingertips. Number 10 is Superman.
Okay.
Number 9 is Bioship. Number 8 is Batman. Number 7 is Beast Boy. Number 6 is Kid Flash. Number 5 is Aqualad. Number 4 is Artemis. And number 3 is the original Robin, Dick Grayson.
Okay. And so
leaving Superboy and
McGann.
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes down to my OGP.
Where do we find this list? What can I search for?
If you were to go to Ask Greg, that would be your best bet of finding it in order.
Okay.
Ask Greg is going to be your definitive spot because that's where he's been posting them all. In hindsight, have never thought to look at a cumulative list.
But yeah, it's Ask Greg and just filter and scroll.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Because they've each been posted one character individually every day for a very long time. So, Neil, who do you think is going to be number one of those two?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Superboy.
Yeah, it's Superboy.
I think it's Superboy, too.
The only reason I give the edge to Superboy is the Legion stuff. That's the only reason I'll give the edge.
It's also, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, last time I checked IMDb for this, Nolan North's the one who's been in the most episodes of the show. And then Danica McKellar is second most number of episodes. Part of that is because they all play multiple characters, but also this does not surprise me.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Anything else, Neil, aside from that? Did we cover everything? Stuff that you're doing? DM's block, of course. You can always be found on DM's block doing your stuff.
Yeah, so I moved all my stuff over to Substack because that's a fun thing that everyone's doing. So thestruggleisneil.com is now my Substack page. I still do LP to RP, but I've named it Albums and Adventures instead because that's way more catchy and sounds more like Dungeons and Dragons. It's easier from an SEO perspective and everything like that. So like if you want to follow me there, it's a lot easier to subscribe and see what I'm doing on Substack rather than my own webpage. So if you just want to subscribe and see the stuff that I put out, it's 10 times easier. So yeah, Albums and Adventures.
I want you to tell me more about that because I know our friend Lou Anders is over on Substack too and some others. So I would love you to tell me a little bit more about that, and I might be moving some things there too.
Yeah, it's super easy. And yeah, so you either go to thestruggleisneil.com or look up Albums and Adventures or just my name on Substack. I'll be there. I post. They have notes, which is just me, my random musings of just something I think up, or I write longer articles sometimes. So other than that, I know how to do a lot of embroidery now. Ooh, that's a fun skill I have that because of my new job. So that's a weird thing that I know how to do. That's really it. I got a new dog. He's going to be huge, the size of a human. So that's taken up a whole bunch of my time because I don't want that to go wrong because he's going to be 150 pounds. And I constantly tell my children, they're like, oh no, I'm like, nope, you can't do that because it seems fun now, but it's not going to be fun when the dog's the size of a human. So no, thank you. Yeah, it's taking a lot of my time. But let's see what else. Yeah. My wife works out of town. So I've just been dad a lot.
Doing home dadding.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Because she works 3 hours away. So,
oh gosh,
she commutes, lives up there for a few days, comes back. So, I reduced the amount of work I was doing out of the home so that I could have more time in the home. So I can just handle all that because it was starting to become very stressful. Any other way.
Love it. All right. So we've already talked about, but just to wrap it up, the schedule for the rest of the season. So this should air on Tuesday of this week. We are on Sunday right now recording. Is that correct? And we are going to be going. So it is going to air over tomorrow again.
And I will say with the utmost confidence, we will know by then Which order those will be in?
That's true.
We have it on good. We have it on good authority.
Yes,
we will know.
We will know by then. And then we'll be releasing every 2 weeks. The final 13 episodes of season 4. At this stage, it's our plan to continue doing some other things, including there's a handful of discussion sessions we still want to do, and then comic commentary, and then we'll kind of see what's going on from there. At that point, we'll probably get you another Intel update toward the end of the season. Did I miss anything, y'all?
No,
Nope.
I think that's everything.
Since moving to Texas, my y'all came back. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
Grew up with that when I was a kid. Now it's back.
I'm the East Coast, and I picked it up somewhere from someone, and it's just part of the way you talk now.
It is now, yeah. And that's it. So if you have any questions, you can email us at whelmedpodcast@gmail.com.
And as always, thank you all for sticking with us and coming on this Young Justice journey.
Thank you all for your patience as we sorted out the end of the season, and we hope you all enjoy the second half of the season 4 reviews.
And as always,
Stay
whelmed,
whelmed,
everyone.
everyone.
there we go.
All right, that was close.
That was pretty close. Closer than we've gotten in years.
You've been listening to Whelmed, the Young Justice Files podcast. Our hosts are Rich Howard and Emily Booza. Our editor and producer is Neil Powell. Our theme was composed by Emily Mio. Our logo was created by Kevin Bates. Whelmed is a fan-made podcast and is not officially affiliated with DC Comics, DC Entertainment, Warner Brothers Animation, and any other owners of Young Justice or its related source material. As such, these companies have sole ownership of all symbols, images, names, logos, and proprietary material related to Young Justice. Original content of this podcast is ours under Creative Commons. Thanks for listening, and stay whelmed.